I am James Rode Rodriguez. I have the honor and the privilege to be speaking with
Natalie Smika. I'm a story editor on A Million Little Things.
Natalie. Let's start with the basics and how you identify as a Latina.
My mom came from Cuba, like 1961, right after the revolution, and I was raised by my mom's family. So I identify as first-generation Cuban American. What about for you?
I am a third-generation Mexican American on my father's side. My father came from a family who immigrated to this country, and he believes that through hard work and dreaming big, anything can happen, and he certainly instilled that in me. I would love to know what you love most about being half Cuban.
Aside from the music and the food, which we all know is really amazing and fun, the thing that I loved the most that stood out to me, I felt like family was very inclusive. So I could show up in any city and somebody would be like, oh, my cousin is there. And there's no distinction as to how you were related. It was like I could land anywhere and some kind of Cuban army would pick me up and make me a part of their family.
How would you say your heritage has influenced you as a storyteller?
I think it made me a storyteller. My family came from Cuba, they couldn't go back. So my only connection to this island, it seemed so mythical to me. And it was only through their imagination and their stories that I was able to connect to this place that they came from. What about you?
I have such an interesting relationship with my heritage in terms of my career because I've spent the majority of it white passing and never being cast as a Latino or playing a Latino, frankly, until this job on A Million Little Things.
Dad, and I hope you never thought that because I changed my name, I wasn't proud to be your son, because that couldn't be further from the truth.
You don't have to apologize to me for anything. In this country, it's easier to be a Gary than a Javier.
Why do you think representation in the media matters so much?
On the good side, it can draw parallels between people and highlight humanity so we can all feel more compassion and empathy towards one another. And on the flip side, if the characters are not well represented, I think it does things like it can fuel hate crimes, and cause a divide.
Is there a storyline that you would love to see happen on our show about representation for the Latinx community?
One of the main things that I would love to see is Gary participating in his culture in a joyful way.
And I also think we should embrace all of the sort of awkward misses that would come along with that because he has been separated from his culture for so long.
Javi, I just want you to know that I'm very proud of you.
And I feel like I could pull that off effortlessly.
I don't know where you're going to draw from, but sure.
Natalie, I want to thank you for being a voice for Latinx representation this season and specifically for Gary Mendez's storyline.
I want to thank you for bringing me on to also give me a platform to speak since I'm usually behind the camera. Mm-hmm. It's cool to see someone that I feel like I could relate to represented on TV.